Please note, for maximum picture quality, it may be necessary to adjust the tracking control on your VCR.
Welcome to Adjust Your Tracking, a podcast where we're clearing out our movie backlogs by going year by year, decade by decade, for a century of cinema. Which is very apt actually, because 2020 was the end of cinema, won't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Liam.
I'm Ollie.
And welcome to the show.
Welcome. This is our second one, so it's still in the early phases. We're still getting used to it.
And it's actually our first one. It's the first of the mini-series.
It's the first proper one. So is the mini-series the 90s then? Is that how we're doing it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, we're going to start with 90s and do 10 films from the 90s. This is obviously starting with 1990.
So, how's your week been? How have you been? How's things?
I mean, we're in the middle of coronavirus hell, so I think everyone's week has been just incredibly weird.
It's like I wake up in the morning and you think it's normal, and then about a good 5 seconds later, it dawns on you again. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. That's how it is then.
We're in the middle of this hell.
But the thing is, though, like, I've been in quarantine for the past 5-6 weeks anyway because of my operation.
Oh, sure, yeah, because we recorded the last episode, but then you had to go out of the operation.
I don't know why I'm showing the audience my ear. It's not like they can see my ear. But
theatre of the mind.
Yeah. So I had an ear operation, so I haven't been able to wear headphones, which you kind of need to do a podcast because otherwise I can't hear you. But the only times I've been out, I've been to the doctor's twice and I've been to Nando's. That's the only times I've been out in the last 6 weeks.
Well, no change there.
So yeah, it seems like all the films coming out soon will be delayed.
Yeah.
Till when? Who knows?
Who knows? It's the choice now the cinemas are making is, well, not the cinemas actually. The cinemas got no choice. It's the studios have to decide whether if they release it on streaming, are they going to make as much money, or do they want to be the first big film back at the cinema? Really?
Yeah, I think any film that's got like a following, like Wonder Woman, that will be a cinema release. Ghostbusters, I think they'll keep that for the cinema. But anything smaller, I think they'll just... I mean, to be honest though, they hardly make smaller films now,
no,
and they usually go quickly to streaming pretty soon anyway.
There's like 3 big films at the moment, aren't there, that were in question, and it's kind of Bond, Black Widow, and Wonder Woman, and they're the big ones at the moment that were kind of meant to be coming out now.
Well, Bond was well ahead of the curve. I mean, they did it before the shit really hit the fan. You know, I think they did it back in February. They delayed it, maybe.
Yeah, they acted quicker than our fucking government.
Yeah, definitely. So that's November. Wonder Woman is now August, and I don't know when. Oh, it was Black Widow's July, I think. Which I think that may be even too soon. I think it might
be. And it's even the question of what the cinemas are going to be like when it comes back. I don't think social distancing is going anywhere soon.
It'll be a slow rollout, won't it? So they'll probably still have it going back to 50% capacity or something like that. And
it's a question if they even survive. I mean, the amount their stocks dropped. And the amount of shits in the world have got because of the way they treat their employees as well.
I know. I think the boutique ones, like, so for example in Birmingham, like the Mockingbird and the Electric, they're the ones that will survive. Do you know what I mean? Because they offer things that the multiplex doesn't, and I think cinephiles are more likely to go to the cinema after this than just your average person. Do you know what I mean? Not saying a cinephile is not an average person, but you know what I mean.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Well, I mean, for a lot of people, I know myself, my mental health kind of requires me going to the cinema. Like, it's absolutely a great place for me just to go and make sure that I'm spending 2 hours, whatever, just, you know, relaxing, not doing anything else, not checking my phone, not worrying about anything else. Like,
100%, yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people
cinema... I mean, going to the cinema or watching a film is probably the one time I don't just pick up my phone and go, "Ooh, what's going on?" line, which I know I do it too much, and I need to try and stop doing that. And especially now, it's even worse because we're all checking to see what the updates are of COVID and that, and seeing what's going on. So
I'm a data guy, and I love the COVID mapping that's coming out. I can't stop staring at it and like seeing where the spread is and stuff like that. It's ridiculous, but I'm obsessed with it. Like, I think we all are in a lot of ways.
I know. Yeah, it's dominating everyone's life, isn't it?
So have you managed to check out any of the films that come out on streaming?
Um, what are the big ones coming out? What are the big ones?
I'd say Invisible Man,
I've
Emma,
oh yeah, I forgot about Emma.
The Hunt,
Oh, and Onward.
Onwards. Yeah,
Is the Hunt the one that's by Damon Lindelof?
I'm not sure. It's the one that got weird controversy, and I can't actually remember why the controversy was.
Yeah, it got delayed, didn't it? I think.
Was it some? Look it up, so I'm not talking crap. But it got delayed because of some news event, didn't it?
Yeah. But the Invisible Man looks cool. I'll tell you what I did watch, which probably is a good link into what we watched today. And what
It was shooting in
today.
Americas that delayed it, apparently.
I watched The Colour from Outer Space with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed. And I think it maybe the second or third, or one of the few from the production company that's actually led by, or one of the co-owners, is Elijah Wood of Lord of the Rings fame. Yeah, it's based on a H.P. Lovecraft book. And it's about a colour, this entity or whatever it is takes over people, and like kind of, it's got a bit of like The Thing and the Body Snatchers kind of vibe going on. But it's got, the main thing is this colour, which is indescribable, but in the film it's pink. It's like,
that's
how do you
funny,
feel,
yeah.
how do you create a colour that can't be described? It's not possible. I think Dave Gorman was trying to write a book about a colour, and there's a war over this colour, and it was a new colour. And he couldn't describe the new colour in the book.
I was saying, was it Dave? There was also sounds like Chuck Palahniuk or something. Palahniuk. I never know how to say his name.
The Fight Club guy.
Yeah, I swear he had a story about that.
Okay.
But the famous one for me is fucking Discworld. Terry Pratchett has that colour. Begins with O, and my brain's completely dead, and all the Discworld people are going to be yelling at their fucking heads at the moment.
To be fair, if there's anybody who could make that work on paper, it's Terry Pratchett.
Oh yeah, totally.
Do you know what I mean?
It's the colour of magic, I think.
Oh, is it the colour?
It's literally the colour of magic.
Sense.
Yeah. And I can't remember what it fucking is called.
So have you watched anything else?
I watched The Invisible Man.
Is it good?
Yeah, I really liked it. Really liked it, actually. It doesn't completely hold up all the way through, but the centre bit when she's getting kind of hunted, like the thriller elements of it, are the most tense I think I've seen, like kind of a kind of thriller horror film be in years. Like, you get this a massive just impression that she is so helpless against like this kind of force, and I think that really worked. I really like that.
So is this the start of the new Universal Monsters or not?
Dark Universe, baby. Yeah. It's back.
Is it going to cross over with Tom Cruise?
Apparently it's not. Apparently it's just standalone. No. I guess Universal just like to use these properties. I can't remember who made it now, but I think they're making a sequel, which the film does set up.
It was Blumhouse, isn't it? So the ones that did all the cheap horror films.
Yeah. It was. It's Lee Wainell, I think his name is the director, who did he did Insidious, I think. Oh, he did Upgrade. That's the one I'm trying to remember, which is really fun.
I've heard that's good.
Yeah, it is absolutely worth watching. Upgrade's really violent, really kind of visceral, and really kind of like fast. Really fun. It's not dumb as well. It's got something going for it, and I had a really good time. It's a proper good hangover film, like not in the way that kind of hangover film is when it doesn't want to be too loud, but when you're just feeling like the day after you don't want to do anything, and it's kind of like there's just a great kind of action film on TV. It felt like that kind of way.
The best hangover film ever was when we stayed at yours when you were at uni and you had a party, and we all watched Batman 66 movie or whatever, and we were all just hanging. It was brilliant.
How many times have we watched that film together?
Two, not enough.
Never enough times.
Never enough.
Right, so we're starting our mini-series. If we haven't been kind of clear with this, the idea is that we're going to do 100 films for 100 years, and we're going to do it in 10 film mini-series. We decided to start with 1990s because, we kind of grew up through the 90s when we were kids, growing up to kind of be teenagers. We are millennials after all. And we thought like,
are
90s...
we millennials?
We're millennials.
Is that what we are?
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah, the papers might think millennials are like 18-year-old kids, but they're not.
I'm still 18.
I thought the 90s were kind of cool because it's when I discovered cinema. Walls of VHSs, yeah. Well, I think that's definitely where I get it from. This is the heart of the podcast, is us trying to clear this cinema backlog, videotape backlog kind of thing. I'm much more prolific kind of collector of films often than I am a watcher of them. Even though I watch films constantly, like it's so much easier to buy a DVD or VHS and stuff like that.
It's like I said on the test one. There's so many films I've had conversations with people about. I'm like, yeah, I've seen that, and trying to move the conversation along to another film because I actually haven't seen the film I have said I had seen. Just bullshitting. So yeah, I like the idea of this, of us trying to make rights out of wrongs.
Yeah, make good, make honest.
Make good. Yeah.
So 1990 is the one we started with. It's an interesting year for films. I don't know what, off the top of your head, have you got a favourite 90s film? 1990 film?
Well, I mean, if you ask me back in 1990, you know what I'm going to say.
I'm guessing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Of course. And do you want to know what the 36-year-old version of me says?
It's definitely Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You'll have to remind me of what films came out that year. I can't remember. What's the top grossing films, do you know?
I think the top grossing film was Ghost, the classic with Whoopi Goldberg. Well, I always say with Whoopi Goldberg, and she's credited in that film so far down the thing, but for me, she's like the star of that film. Home Alone, which I thought you might say. Right.
That is definitely one of my favourites. I almost killed my parents after I saw that film at the cinema. I laid traps all around the house and nearly took my sister's head off with a Tonka truck. That is a true story, which my parents will always bring up all the time.
So I like that it's with a Tonka truck. And then there's Pretty Woman, which is fine.
Yeah, it's all right.
It was a huge film at the time, launched careers basically, didn't it? And Dances with Wolves.
Oh, I do like Dances with Wolves, I have to say.
And I think top 5, and then we got Total Recall was the 5th top grossing film that year.
I enjoy that.
It's a great film, yeah. All these are good films, I swear. Well, okay. Back to the Future 3 came out in 1990, which I love Back to the Future 3. I know it's got...
I was thinking this the other day. Is Back to the Future 3 the origins of steampunk?
I can't say it's the origins, but it's definitely steampunk aesthetic. Definitely.
100%. Especially the train.
Yeah, the train is all about... Well, it literally is steam-powered time travel. It's got it. Steampunk's always kind of like Victorian-esque more, isn't it, than Wild West? Oh, I'm saying that fucking Wild West exists, so...
Yeah, so... the ultimate steampunk, yeah. With the steam-powered spider.
The thing that almost tried to kill steampunk for everybody.
What about you? What would your favourite film from 1990 be?
It's difficult, isn't it? Honestly, Back to the Future 3 is up there. I do love those. Back in the day, I loved The Rescuers. The Rescuers Down Under came out in 1990.
I haven't seen that one.
I probably watched so much of that. My favourite 1990 film is probably Edward Scissorhands, though.
Oh, was that 1990?
Yeah.
Love that.
Which...
You know what else came out in 1990? Coupe de Ville came out in 1990.
Did it?
Yeah, I love that film.
I know Darkman came out in 1990.
Oh god, I really like Darkman actually.
Yeah, Darkman's a great film. 1990 is a fantastic year for film. Not every year is this good. And 1990 just has continuously great films, including Ollie's favourite film, Hard to Kill, starring Steven Seagal.
Was that the one we watched at yours? No, in
Brighton.
Sorry.
Yeah, the one where they try and kill him and he's hard to kill. That one.
Dick Tracy came out.
Oh,
Gremlins
God, yeah.
2. RoboCop 2.
That's
Ghost Dad.
Ghost Dad is a deleted film.
Arachnophobia.
But Goodfellas, Truly Madly Deeply, Die Hard 2.
These are all proper Hollywood films as well, though, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pump Up the Volume.
Misery.
I do like Misery. It's one of the better Stephen King adaptations.
Yeah, by far. I mean, it earned Kathy Bates the Oscar, didn't it? So.
Although, in the book, she doesn't break his legs. She actually saws his feet off.
Yeah. But it's actually, the breaking it is so much more visceral in the film. So.
It's because the sound, I think.
Yeah. And then talking of the Oscars with Kathy Bates, this film that we're doing today actually got Diane Ladd a nomination for supporting actress, didn't it?
Did it?
Yeah. So yeah, she got nominated for Best Supporting Actress. She lost it to Whoopi Goldberg for Ghost, but so the film, even in a year with so much kind of going on, you know, Goodfellas as well, Awakenings came out this year. Like there was still space for this film to kind of get its actor a nomination, which is really cool. This film, we'll say we're doing David Lynch, Wild at Heart.
Can I talk to Lula?
You are not gonna see him ever.
Michael. I'd go the far end of the world for you, baby.
A man can't ask for more than that.
You move me, Sale. You really do.
You want me to shoot Sailor in the brains with a gun?
Uh-oh.
It was kind of financially successful, but it wasn't a massive critical success or anything. But it's kind of been reevaluated in years past now.
Well, it was made on a $10 million budget and it made $14 million, so that's not a win in any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But I think before it came out, the word was that it wasn't very good, but I believe it won the Palme d'Or at Cannes.
It did win the Palme d'Or, which is so weird because it's the only one of his films to win the Palme d'Or. And it feels like to me, which they don't do this a lot with the Palme d'Or, but it does feel like to me that they were giving it this film because of Blue Velvet. Like Velvet
so it's almost like
just
we fucked up.
Yeah, like, and I don't think they do that a lot with Cannes, but it did feel like it because Blue Velvet was an absolute masterpiece that everyone kind of slept on in awards way.
What have you seen of David Lynch?
I've pretty much seen all his films. Actually,
bar this.
I've never watched Fire Walk with Me, because I've never watched season 2 of Twin Peaks. So
not many people did, I don't think.
Yeah, because obviously I didn't watch Twin Peaks at the time. I was way too young. I came to it years later, where it was, you know, now this cult masterpiece, and I kind of watched season 1, and people told me not to bother watching season 2, and I never really did. Like, and because of that, I haven't watched Fire Walk with Me, which I have got told it's great. Actually, so I should go back and watch it. I know the music for Fire Walk with Me is wonderful. It's a great soundtrack, but I've never watched it.
I have listened to that. I own it. I've got 2 copies of it. One's in a David Lynch box set that I own, and the other was in a Twin Peaks box set that I own, and I haven't seen either of them. So, like, my history with it is I own all of his films, but I'd say I've seen half of them.
Okay.
Again, this is the reason why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
And ironically, not ironically, but I have only seen his straighter films, quote unquote.
Well, have you seen Straight Story then?
So I've seen Straight Story.
I haven't seen Straight Story. That I was going to mention that. Right?
I love that film. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I've seen Elephant Man.
Yeah, fantastic film. I mean,
I've watched series 1 and 2 of Twin Peaks. Haven't seen the film. I have the new series as well.
The new mini
which I think some of those episodes are like 90 minutes long each themselves, so it's like some of them they're like feature length episodes, and there's quite a few episodes.
It got great reviews.
Yeah, you know the little guy in it though that kind of speaks and walks backwards or whatever. He didn't want to come back for the series, so they replaced him with a talking like bush or tree or something.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, like, why not? Like, that's what they did with Kevin Spacey, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
They should just replace him with talking bushes.
I have seen Dune as well.
Yeah, oh God, Dune. I mean, what an interesting career. Come straight out the gate with Razorhead, which is just a psychopathic film, frankly, but it was such a big cult hit.
I need to watch that.
And immediately do Elephant Man. And Elephant Man then just won all the fucking Oscars. That actually didn't win any Oscars, did it? It actually just got 8 nominations, but it won 3 BAFTAs.
Was that his second film then?
Yeah, second film. And then to be his third film to be Dune, which is just a colossal undertaking. We were seeing the documentary, of the attempts to make Dune over the years.
Well, he was one of the directors that was in contention to direct Return of the Jedi.
God, that would have been good.
So it was like him and Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg would have been better, but God, I could have watched David Lynch's Return of the Jedi. It would have been a mess in a great way.
So yeah, I mean, like Dune was like they were trying to push that as being like a new Star Wars. There was even like an action figure line for it.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants figures of Dune?
I want figures of Sting in his pants.
But yeah, that's actually have they shot it now, the new one, or is it
Denis Villeneuve's one? I don't know. I don't know if they haven't finished shooting it. It's now been
on hold.
On hold, yeah. So,
but he's got a crazy cast for that.
Yeah,
like the cast he's got is insane. But I digress.
And then, like after Dune, he does Blue Velvet, which I think you can start describing this as kind of David Lynch hits his kind of like his vibe from Blue Velvet onwards, really.
His stride, yeah.
Yeah. Blue Velvet was a huge hit. It didn't win anything really, but it just kind of cemented him as this kind of cult, kind of artistic director, really. And this was his follow-up to that, which I think that's what I was saying about the Palme d'Or. I've got a feeling he got the Palme d'Or much more based on the fact that Blue Velvet was this slow crawl to become a kind of critical favourite. By the time this came out 4 years after, I think people were really anticipating what David Lynch's new film would be.
Well, because apparently I was reading about this, and apparently he wasn't going to direct it originally. He was going to produce it or something like that.
Yeah.
But he kind of snaked it out from the guy who was then going to direct it.
Yeah, I think he had loads of trouble getting his next project off the ground. But he had got Twin Peaks done in the time period, so... and he did this film, which is...
What did you think of it then?
I really liked it. It's just a roller coaster.
I mean, I've watched it twice now. It's a film that I thought a lot about after.
Right, okay.
It like a lot of it lingered in my head. Like, did this have any meaning? Was it just put there just for the sake of being random or weird? Like, for example, we'll get into it later, but when she starts painting her face, with the lipstick, and then it cuts back to her later on, and her face is
just red,
bright red, and I'm like, what's going on?
I wondered if that was part of the Wizard of Oz imagery.
Okay.
In a kind of, I don't know, because the problem I've done, the mistake I've made is I've just finished watching it like 10 minutes before we started recording. So I haven't given my brain any time to kind of think about what I watched, really.
Right, okay.
But it's interesting because as far as I can make out, he took this script. He then halfway through, was it writing it maybe? I was going to say filming, but I think it's halfway through writing, he decided that he could make it into a Wizard of Oz, put Wizard of Oz into it in a kind of themes and imagery and stuff. But it goes, halfway through it goes heavy into it.
Oh, look, I wonder where that came from, because it's based on a book by, is it Barry Gifford?
Yeah.
And it's like a series of books, so there's more of them. So there's
I didn't know
6 books. And also, there's a spin-off movie about one of the characters in the film.
Is there?
So, you know the character... Does she... You know the blonde-haired lady who I think is the sister of the really bizarre lady that tortures Harry Dean Stanton?
Yeah, one of the... do you mean one of the assassins? The one played by Grace Zabriskie, is it? Zabriskie?
It's not her, but the one that's... I've got it in my notes. Let me try and look for it. Where is it? Do. My notes are just a mess, man. I need to... Her name is... Oh, Isabella Rossellini, her character.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's based on her character.
That's really interesting. I'd be up for watching that, actually.
So it sounds a bit like how they've done the Jesus movie, like, you know, the spin-off of The Big Lebowski.
Which I'm honest, I am not interested in at all.
But I think he shot that like 5 years ago.
I think so.
It's like taken that long for it to come out. But anyway,
discretion, but
this film to me felt a lot like Twin Peaks. It definitely had a massive Twin Peaks vibe.
Yeah.
In that it had that really off-kilter kind of... I mean, all of David Lynch
Yeah.
films from what I've seen. Obviously, I keep forgetting, I have seen the one with Bill Paxton. Not Bill Paxton.
Lost
Bill
Highway?
Pullman. I have seen Lost Highway.
Have you not seen Mulholland Drive then?
No.
See, that was my... I think that was my... not my intro. I had seen other films, but that was the first film that I really kind of thought, oh, I love David Lynch. Like, that was... And I watched it multiple times.
Funnily enough, that when I had my first ear operation, you brought that round for me to watch, but I never watched it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's talking about 18 years ago. Anyway, but a lot of the scenes felt like the acting and the music, almost like a American daytime soap opera.
Yeah.
Which Twin Peaks has a lot of that in, and obviously purposely so. He's got like an obsession with like that kind of all American kind of.
A little bit John Waters like. Is that a weird comparison? But I thought of John Waters a lot when watching it. Like Serial Mom, the way it's got that kind of weird TV-esque kind of surrealism to it.
But John Waters films are a lot less cerebral, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
They're a bit more, you can follow them a bit more, or I don't know, a bit more easy to decipher.
Well, I mean, to explain Lynch, I mean, Lynch is a surrealist. I mean, that's what he bases his entire world on. Like, and
he was a painter, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So
and he kind of thinks that, and I think once you understand this, it's easier to watch David Lynch films because it's easier to know what you're going to expect to see when you're watching them. But like, he thinks narrative can be drawn from subconscious. So he thinks like narrative in his stories can be drawn from like subconscious imageries and waking dreams and kind of narratives that are gone unsaid, and that sometimes dream elements aren't. Sometimes dream elements are as important to plot, but it doesn't matter if they're dream or actual stuff happening. He mixes those two, and I think this 100%. Is not the start of it, but this incorporates that. I'm sorry, I absolutely talked over you then.
No, I talked over you. But he has loads of characters that just pop in that weirdly, like there's a bit where they go to like that jazz kind of restaurant or nightclub. I don't know what it is. But that guy just starts like talking to him, and he sounds like Donald Duck.
Oh yeah, and he's got the helium voice.
Yeah, and it's like it's like it serves no purpose.
Pigeons spread diseases. I must advise you see that.
And then there's another bit where there's like an old lady just dancing that just lingers on this like strange looking old lady for a little while, and it's like I don't know if he just casts like non-actors that just people who he finds look interesting and just thinks
that's a lot like
give these a little moment.
That's again I think that's really relatable to John Waters. Weirdly, I didn't think I'd be talking about John Waters, but like, and also Jonathan Demme is almost from the same sort of school of that as kind of a guy who knows, he's in the art world. He knows people who are musicians, they're artists, they're a bit odd looking, they're a bit weird, and they just pop up in the films. They just as characters, and I think David Lynch does do that. He just throws things into to give his film color and to give it kind of some physicalness. I think
But like, so if we start from the beginning, we're not going to go through it beat by beat because that'd be boring. But talking about like dreams and subconscious. The film starts off with that kind of almost jazz kind of laid back music, and you think, oh, is this set in like the 50s or the 40s? Like, because everyone's wearing like suits and it looks like they've been to like a kind of a dance and stuff. And then all of a sudden that metal kicks in and he like just brutally,
it's fucking amazing.
Brutally murders that guy.
It's fucking amazing.
So over the top, but you don't get a sense from his character that he actually comes across as a decent person. Now and again, like they try and help that lady who her car crashes with her friend.
Yeah,
and like he doesn't come across as like a nasty piece of shit. But that fight scene was just like, what the hell?
It's I just wrote down. Well, that's a fucking start. Like right into it, and
that metal riff though, the same one kept coming back, and I was like, you could have just had a different metal riff every single time, but no, it was just the same.
Same one. It was part of
sounded
like the
Beavis and
soundscape
Butthead.
of the film, isn't it? Like, yeah. Do, 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 do. It was crazy. I couldn't believe that. When it opened like that, I was like, right, I'm in for a film. I'm in for this then. Okay, I'm on board.
And then like they go to the metal gig as well, and it's like, what's the name of the band? It's like Power Man, and the singer's got a Gwar t-shirt on and a bum bag. Bum bag makes sure you know it's the 1990s. And then the way they're dancing to the metal music is hilarious. And then all of a sudden, he kicks into like, obviously it's Nick Cage, so he has to do an Elvis.
Apparently, the Elvis stuff wasn't Nick Cage. Apparently, it was actually David Lynch.
Oh, really?
Which is really odd because, yeah, I figured it was Nick Cage as well because it's Nick Cage. But, like, apparently that was... David Lynch told him to go and kind of swat up on his Elvis and record 2 Elvis songs for the film. So it was Love Me and Love Me Tender, I think, both.
Yeah, so Love Me Tender's the one where they propose, isn't
it?
Yeah,
right at the end, yeah.
And then...
Love Me was the one just then in the metal club when he takes over the singing, which... What a scene. But I guess... It's time to... I've brought him up. It's time to talk about Mr. Nick Cage, to be honest.
I'm going to lay this out there. Nick Cage is one of my favourite actors.
Yeah.
I love Nick Cage.
I think I love him.
And, like, he never... Every film he's in, he's at the perfect level for that film, or even more intense, and I love him.
Where did this idea come from that he went mad? Because he's always been this. Like, this is an early film for him. It's not really early, but it's still an early-ish film. And he's absolutely at peak levels of this.
I was watching, is it like the GQ? Have you ever watched them on YouTube? They're like GQ, like actors talk about their most iconic roles.
Okay, yeah.
So I watched the Nick Cage one, hoping he'd talk about this film, but he didn't. He was talking about Face Off. And he was upset because he only got to play the mental character, the insane character, for like the first 10 minutes of that film. So he had to set up how crazy his character was within that 10 minutes. So then John Travolta then has to channel him and be the crazy character. And he's like, I'd like to have been the Castor Troy character more, but I had to be the subdued John Travolta character.
That is good, Nick Cage. That film is good.
Could you imagine seeing his Superman? I would love to.
The world has been robbed of that. Whatever it would end up being, it wouldn't be boring. Like,
I know it would just been insane.
Yeah.
Have you seen the documentary about the making of that film?
I haven't watched it. No.
Well, it's not a very well made film in the slightest. It's pretty sloppily put together, but the footage seeing him kind of coming up with his version of Clark Kent and Superman is really quite interesting. And his idea of Clark Kent is like this kind of nerd, and he kind of wears a Mickey Mouse tie, and like he's like a proper like nerd who wears like jeans up to his armpits and stuff.
I'm so on board. So on board.
But he's not that intense in this, I don't think. There's the scenes where he is really over the top, but there's a lot where he's kind of quite tame.
He's really he's really romantic in this. Like,
actually.
That's the weird thing. The film is a romance, and he is actually really romantic in it. He's just romantic in that kind of weird, intense. I don't want to say hillbilly is the wrong word, but it's the same thing as like Raising Arizona. It's that same kind of ball he's playing. That kind of someone who's really got really strong emotions, really loves someone, and is trying as hard as he can to kind of do right by that. But the world is shit, so he has to do shit things around that. Like,
well, I think Lynch said the whole theme of the film is finding love in hell. That's his that's how he sums up the film.
Makes sense.
So like everybody apart from them is trying to. It's almost like a Romeo and Juliet trying to like.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You got the mom
them.
who's just trying to. The mom was. He tried to. The mom tried to sleep with Nick Cage, right? And he.
I don't know if she did or she was just fucking with him.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
So the idea, if I remember, they try and blame Nick Cage for killing her husband.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
But it was really the mafia, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what he does. What is he? Is he?
Yeah, mob boss. I don't know. Sure.
But he's having an affair with her mom.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Who is also in a relationship with Harry Dean Stanton.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I
and then
thought anyway.
So she hires Harry Dean Stanton to look for them when he breaks parole, and it's
when he gets out of jail, which is the best fucking line I've ever heard in a film in my life.
Wait there, let me read it out. Did I ever tell you that this here jacket represents a symbol of my individuality and my belief in personal freedom?
It's so good.
I think that is a Nick Cage though wanting that jacket. I think.
Yeah. He basically went to Nick Lynch. Who's Nick Lynch? He went to David Lynch and went, "I've got this jacket. I'm wearing this." Like, and what's it? Laura Dern's like, "Many times, baby. You told me many times."
She was really good in this though. I mean, Laura Dern's great.
She's amazing in this.
The woman who played her mom is her mom.
Diane Ladd. Yeah. It's actually a mom real life.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You know, and what I really like about Laura Dern in this is that she's absolutely just like she's playing a really sexual person. Obviously,
very much.
But she's really comfortable with herself and really kind of like forthright about that. And it reminded me of Laura Dern in Marriage Story in that kind of way that she's just so confident and like assured of who she is in her kind of own element. I don't think Laura Dern often gets a chance to play someone like that, really. Though I might be selling her short, but
I haven't seen that film yet, so I need to watch that. But
yeah, definitely.
So she was obviously raped.
Yeah, by Uncle Pooch. Uncle Pooch.
Why does she, when she speaks to Nick Cage's character Sailor about it, she doesn't. She says, "My mom didn't know," but obviously the flashbacks indicate that her mom saw it happening and then got him out of the house.
I took it to mean that her mom didn't know it was happening until she knew.
Oh, okay. Because she didn't specifically say that to Sailor, unless we're supposed to believe that she's talking at, when we see those flashbacks, she's actually saying that out loud. I don't know. But I did not believe for a second she was 13. Laura Dern does not look a 13-year-old girl.
I thought Laura Dern was so good in that. The post sex scenes in this film are my favourite things in the film by far. When they were just lying in bed together after having sex.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And his rugged, manly, hairy chest.
Yeah. What was her line? Like, she said something like, "Your cock's so amazing." I felt like when it was inside of me, it was talking to me.
Oh yeah,
it's such a great line.
That was good. It is a really highly sexualized film, though. I mean, like, there's a bit where Nick Cage's character's talking about his encounter with a girl he was having sex with, and he full on gropes her.
That bit is amazing, and he's telling it in the jazz club, isn't it?
Yeah. And then Willem Dafoe has a scene later on where I don't know if she's actually turned on by him or if she's scared or if it's both.
I think she's meant. Yeah, the rape scene, that was a really horrible scene. I didn't like that at all. Like, and it
seemed like she was getting into it. I don't know. I didn't
really take it that way. I think I took it as her being really scared, and really just because she's a victim of trauma and victim of rape already. It's like her body and her brain are just completely like can be
right
at that moment were kind of separated or something.
Okay.
That made me very uncomfortable. That scene did incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a very intense scene, and then all of a sudden he not jokes it off, but he kind of like.
But that's
you thought I was gonna.
That's the power, isn't it? That's what makes it so horrific. Yeah. That he didn't have to do anything more than what he did, even though what he did is still horrible. But it's like that was some fucking scene. Like, this film has a lot in it. I
think the Wikipedia refers to it as like a road movie, but really you don't see them on the road all that much.
Not really, no.
But
it's one of those, because it feels like, because the way David Lynch does stuff, you might be able to speak to this better than me, but there was a lot of just fading in it. Like, there was not a lot of strong cuts, a lot of just fade cuts.
But I think that comes from the TV kind of, like the soap opera kind of way of filmmaking that he does, like with Twin Peaks and stuff like that. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know. They always have that romantic kind of fade in and out, like almost a bit dream. Like I don't know.
Well, that's what it felt like to me. You didn't really know what was dream or flashback or happening or made up, because the weird story with Crispin Glover was just
that. Well, again, you were talk, the random guy who's got the high pitched, the Donald Duck voice, like that little side story of the guy who's obsessed with Christmas. Although he does have that wicked line who goes, "I'm making sandwiches," or is it "I'm making lunch"?
My lunch.
It's just like loads of hacked up sandwiches on a table.
I just said I just wrote Crispin Glover is amazing, is what I wrote in that bit. Like I just miss Crispin Glover being in films. I think he's so good on screen.
But my filmmaking head thought, okay, he's going to come back in it in some way. But no, he's just.
I took it as a warning that, like, he's their type of people, someone who's kind of trapped with this nastiness around them, and he didn't heed any advice. Like, someone told him that the alien was actually him, but it was always him in his hand or something, and they need to heed that advice to break this kind of hell they're in, otherwise they're not going to find happiness. And that's what I thought that was doing. I might be completely wrong. God, it's David Lynch. I'm actually scared to normally talk about David Lynch because I'm totally unqualified for this. But that's kind of what I thought I was seeing from that.
This is the guy who spent years just all he would do is report on the weather on his Twitter account.
He's the best. I guess you haven't watched his monkey interview film on Netflix.
No, it's only short though, isn't it? I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it either.
But, have you heard his album? Did you listen to his album that came out about 10 years ago?
I didn't actually.
Right, there's one song on it called Creepy Clown Time. And it's like, I'll try and it goes, Jimmy wore a red shirt. It's like that kind of stuff going.
Polly had a red shirt. Polly had a red shirt.
But the video of it really reminded me of a scene in this film, and it's the bit where they're outside the trailer and they're kind of talking to that. I think you see a sheriff, and then it's the first time they meet Willem Dafoe's character, who is cool. What's his name?
Something.
Bobby Peru.
Bobby Peru. I was going to say Bobby Idaho.
And then they're filming the porn film in one of the trailers, and then all those big girls come out, and it goes a bit hypnotic and a bit weird when they're just like kind of dancing outside. It really reminded me of that video.
I'll tell you what bit that made me laugh. There was a bit where, God, I can't. It's I have trouble telling you what it's W. Morgan Shepherd. You know W. Morgan Shepherd, the actor. He played Mr. Reindeer in this, which I'm honestly not sure who Mr. Reindeer was now. But he was like some kind of mob boss or something.
Oh, was he the guy who's just had the naked women around him all the time?
Yes, him.
Yeah.
And there was a scene where they cut to him sitting in a chair with two naked women around it, and the two naked women are just talking to each other. And that one of them goes like, "That dumb bitch stole my phone," and someone else responds with something else, and he just tells her to shut up, and then does his like mob boss thing. And I was like, "That's the best scene I've ever seen."
The first time you see him, he's sitting on the toilet, and then it pans out or cuts back, and you just see a naked woman like resting on the door frame, and he's just having a shit behind her. So I don't know how they're all connected. So the mob boss guy that's kind of going out with Diane Ladd's character or whatever, or like, so it's confusing. He hires that guy then to hire those three people who are a bit nuts and that kidnap Harry Dean Stanton. I'm a bit confused about that, but
I think
and then there's the whole thing with the silver coins as well.
That was very John Wick to me. I thought.
So I haven't seen that, so that's a bit lost on me. I haven't seen those.
That really reminded me of John Wick, which obviously is a long time before John Wick. But I think if I get it right, Harry Dean Stanton was hired by Diane Ladd to go find Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern, and maybe not to kill Nicolas Cage, but just to kind of split them up.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, an old connection, an old mob boss, then came to speak to Diane Ladd, and she, out of desperation, hires him because he was like, "I'll get the job done," and that's Marcella Santos. That's J.E. Freeman.
And that's the guy who killed her husband.
And that's the guy who killed her husband, I think. Yeah.
Was it ever referred to that they both were in on killing the husband? I can't remember.
Because the bit that confused me is when Nick Cage was Sailor was saying that he was there.
Yeah, he was just sitting outside.
Yeah. And
I'm guessing he was dating her character at the time, Laura Dern's character.
Oh, I thought he might have been working for Mr. Reindeer.
Well, he could have been.
Because he used to work with the three assassins, didn't he? Because that's when he went to the assassins and asked them if they got hit on him. And like, you have to be honest with me, we used to work together. Have you got hit out on me? And she was just lying to him. So I wasn't totally sure if Nick Cage actually might have been responsible for him dying, the dad dying.
So is Bobby Peru a hitman as well, who was hired as well? Is that correct?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to say, I think he was one of my favourite characters, though, because it just goes to show how one little bit of makeup can really make a character. Like those teeth gum things he had on his mouth were like horrific, but it really made the character.
I wasn't happy at all. William Dafoe with tiny teeth is the worst thing. It made William Dafoe worse. I was going to say Willem. Like
he's again, like going back to the GQ kind of iconic moments things. He did one of those videos as well, and one of his iconic characters was Bobby Peru.
Oh, cool!
So he talks a little about that. So that's quite interesting. And like, I love Willem Dafoe because he says that I can't remember if he said this or if I'm paraphrasing or whatever, but he said, "Look, I'll do whatever directors want me to do. I'm the paint, and they just put me anywhere and do whatever they want with me." And I really respect him because he's got no ego whatsoever, and he just kind of, I think he's such a good actor.
He's a brilliant actor. He's almost like continuously underappreciated, I think. Even though I think everyone loves him, I think he's still underappreciated.
It shows how much makeup can help an actor, though, because like I was thinking about when he was talking about how much it helped him, and then films like The Brothers Grimm, where originally they were going to be like Heath Ledger and Matt Damon were going to have all face appliances on, or like just a nose to make them look a bit odd and a bit awkward. And then when Miramax or whoever, probably Harvey Weinstein, dickhead,
he's always going to come up in the 90s, man.
Yeah, when he said, "Oh no, we can't have our leading stars looking like that. They're our bankable stars who have to look like Hollywood stars." When they took those off them, it totally ruined the film for them because it took away the character for them.
Yeah.
Because you can't act awkward if you don't look a bit awkward. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But well, I'm sure you can, but I don't know. But when you look like Matt Damon and Heath Ledger, you know,
they want to feel like they're in a. You know, it's hard to act as it is, and it helps if you're doing something that's completely bizarre and weird to have something that helps you just kind of feel a bit kind of in that world, a bit more protected.
Well, also, it's probably not comfortable, so it probably helps with your performance because you're like, "Oh, this thing is really irritating me." It probably brings something else out of you.
And I think that's why mocap is really important for some. Like, I think why being a mocap actor isn't something everyone can do, and I think that's why people like Andy Serkis and stuff like that are really good because they can do those characters without and like embody it without the makeup and stuff. They've got that going on. I don't think every actor can do that. Just remembered that this going back a while, but I was going to say it when you said it about that scene when he's talking about the girl that he kind of picked up, and he goes, "I had a boner with a capital O."
Boner.
Fucking just wonderful script.
Do you know, like, I'm jumping a bit to the end here now, but you know at the end where they're robbing the bank. Is it me? But whenever I see people's faces covered in tights,
it's not a bank, is it? It's a grain store.
Yeah, but it's like a disturbing image. You watch these people. It's a weird. Like do you remember we made a film years ago and we had our friends Benson and Dave wear masks over their faces? It's like a really weird, off-putting thing. And then how he blows off his own head at the end, like.
Oh, it's so good.
Like the whole skull literally flies up in the air,
and it's all flappy, and it kind of blonks on the ground, and it's all like tendons flapping about the place. Like they don't make stuff look like that anymore. That's the real 90s thing with like gore and viscera.
Blood isn't practical in films anymore because you can do more takes.
Yeah.
Digital effects. Do you know what I mean? But
do people still get squabbed up in films?
Squibbed?
No,
not really. No, not really. I mean, Quentin Tarantino's will do it. I'm trying to not call him by the meme name at the moment. What is it? It's Quarantine. No, what is it?
Quarantino Tarant. I don't know.
But anyway, so yeah, the DP of this film is Frederick Elms.
Okay.
And he's worked with your boy.
Who's my boy?
He directed Gemini Man and
Ang Lee.
Ang Lee, yeah. So he did the Hulk and Ice Storm.
Oh wow! Oh, that's cool.
He also did Horns recently with not recently, but with Daniel Radcliffe.
I liked Horns.
Storytelling, which is the Todd Solondz movie. Have you seen that one?
Oh no, I haven't. No.
That's good. And he did Kinsey, where
Kinsey.
Liam Neeson has a big cock.
What a crazy film Kinsey is. Bill Condon film, isn't it? Like the film he did after Gods and Monsters.
Yes, yeah,
and then before Dreamgirls, yeah. So, if we are talking about the ending, he changed the ending. The ending in the book is a tragic ending.
Oh, is it?
And David Lynch decided to make it a happy ending. And
like
he said
Hollywood ending.
Yeah, he said that if I left it the original ending, everyone would have moaned that I'm doing a David Lynch doing like a shitty ending at a film.
Oh, so by subverting it, he makes it.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense because the film is a romance; it's not a tragedy, and I think the happy ending really, really works for the film. I think it makes the film actually. I think it makes the film better that they do that kind of. The good witch comes down, who is a thingy from what do you call it? Laura Palmer from Twin Peaks plays the Guild of the Good Witches, and she comes down and tells him that like you have to tell her you love her, and it finishes with him singing "Love Me Tender," that's the best way to finish that film. And I was really happy with it actually.
Yeah, because I thought when he walked away, that they were going to do that kind of, tragic ending where the guy doesn't get with the girl. But do you reckon like when they bust his nose and it's massive? Do you think they purposely made it look bad? But I didn't know if they were trying to go for like another like this might be stretching because of the amount of Wizard of Oz references in it. No, because the bad witch is played by the mom, isn't it?
Yeah.
When they're driving the car.
Absolutely. There's that bit where her she's lying in the bathroom after painting her face, and her shoes have curled up like the witch shoes.
Yeah, the Wicked Witch.
And then she's flying on the side of the road on like.
But his nose looks a bit like the Scarecrow's nose. Oh, okay. It's like massive. It's like bright. It's black and it's massive.
I was trying to catch, because that's what I was thinking. There's so much Wizard of Oz in this, they talk about he would have, because that's what they say about what's his name, Crispin Glover's character, that he would have been really helped if he could meet a wizard that would tell him what he needs or something.
But yeah, and the guy at the trailer park talks about Toto, the dog.
Yeah. But I was trying to look for who is like Scarecrow, the woodsman, and
I see what you mean,
and the Cowardly Lion. But I couldn't. I had trouble finding those analogues in the film. I just saw the rest of the Oz stuff. Like
it's a very weird the way he's placed the Wizard of Oz references in it. I mean, it's clear that the mom's the wicked witch, but then the good witch is someone who we've never seen in the film at all.
Well, the good witch isn't in. The good witch isn't in Wizard of Oz, is she, Gilda?
Is she not?
Does she pop up at the end? But
this is another one of my cinema sins. I've never seen the Wizard of Oz. So.
If I remember right, Gilda is more important in the books than the film.
Okay.
I might be wrong at that, and if I am wrong, we'll drop in a little thing of me saying I'm wrong. But I figured that was more. I don't know. It was weird. It felt like to me at some point while making the film, he kind of went, "Oh, it's like Wizard of Oz," and it ramped up at some point. At some point, there was no references whatsoever, and then by the time you get to like kind of 3/4 away through it, there's just continuous Wizard of Oz references and Yellow Brick Road, and they have to go and find a wizard to find out what to be told and stuff. Good film.
So. Another one of my favourite actors is in this film. Is Harry Dean Stanton. I absolutely love Harry Dean Stanton.
Okay.
But I felt like he was massively underserved in this film. Because like he doesn't really have that much to do. Like he's killed off, I wouldn't say quickly, but his scenes are few and far between, and like you only see him really when he's chatting to Diane Ladd's character, and then he's driving a bit, and then he's in a motel, and then he's like pretty much a goner then.
His stuff was the stuff I was having trouble with when I first watched it, because I think it felt like it starts off really strong and then it kind of lulls itself, the film does, for a while. And it felt like it was a good 40 minutes where it just felt aimless to me, and a lot of that was Harry Dean Stanton stuff.
But I think he could have been utilised a bit better, because he's capable of a lot more. Like I think he's like Paris, Texas is one of my favourite films. I think that's a great film.
Great film.
And he's in Alien.
Yeah.
Countless other films.
Countless other films.
Marvel's Avengers. He pops up at the end of that.
Does he pop up in the Avengers?
Yeah, he's when the Hulk crash lands to Earth off the sky. What are they called? The sky ships. What are they called? The carriers. Harry Dean Stanton's like a caretaker who's there when Mark Ruffalo wakes up.
I can't believe I forgot that. That's amazing.
See, why do you think she covers her face in lipstick? What's that about? Like,
I don't. I took it as a Wizard of Oz thing, as she was cut like. Obviously, the Wicked Witch is like green, so she was kind of just like painting herself to look, to look like that on camera. In the film, I think she's having a psychotic break, isn't she? Because because Harry Dean Stanton's going to get killed because of her.
So you think she genuinely loved him then?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Or she just feels guilty.
Or just feels guilt, yeah, sure.
When the woman, the blonde woman who, when they've captured Harry Dean Stanton, like the first thing she does is this massive scream. I was wetting myself. And then there's that creepy guy who kind of just like breathing around her and stuff like that. I'm like, who are these people? They're so weird.
My favourite stuff in the film, I think, was like stuff. It was stuff like Nick Cage and Laura Dern that you can tell they were just making decisions. And there's a bit where I think it's the first hotel room they get to, and they're kind of reconnecting. And Nick Cage is lying on the bed, and he's got a radio on his feet, and he's playing with like the cable to it.
See, I couldn't figure out if that was like Red Rope Licorice at first, but then I was like, no, what's going on? No.
And I'm like, there's no reason whatsoever you should be lying like that and doing like that unless you're Nick Cage and you've decided this is what this character's doing right now. And I couldn't take my eyes off him. Like,
my earliest memory of this film was, so when Jurassic Park came out, Laura Dern's in Jurassic Park, and our mutual friend Robert Kenyon became obsessed with Laura Dern. For some reason, even at the age of 8 or 9, he was obsessed with her. And he even had a picture of her from Wild at Heart by the side of his bed. And I don't know why that's just popped up into my head. But because she's, like, as you said, she's highly sexualised. She's naked a lot in it. Yeah. And for a 9-year-old boy to have that by the side of his bed.
That's, yeah.
She awakened feelings in our friend.
That is, puberty has come knocking. She looks amazing in this film. She looks absolutely amazing. Yeah. And she is amazing. I think Laura Dern's one of these actresses that it's now become really cool to tell you how great Laura Dern is, but I think for years people just slept on her. They didn't know what to do with her, and now people have kind of recognised that she is fucking brilliant, and hopefully she'll keep getting good kind of roles because of that. She's so good in Little Women, and she's so good in Marriage Story and Last Jedi, and like, I
need to watch those. I still haven't got around to those yet.
Little Women was like my film of the year. Well, I don't know. Parasite's up there as well, obviously, but I'm really happy. Like, I know I like Laura Dern, and I'm really happy I went back to watch kind of a pre-Jurassic Park Laura Dern, which I don't think I've seen too many of those.
So she was quite young in Jurassic Park. She must have been about 23 when she did that. How old do you reckon Sam Neill was? He must have been in his 40s.
Oh God, good question. I have no. Yeah, she was meant to be his student though, wasn't she? In Jurassic Park?
In the books, for sure. In the books, but in the film, you never got that sense.
That's a good thing to cut out. It's a good thing to cut out for film.
Yeah, but I think she's got this maturity to it. I never questioned. Maybe if I was this age back in '93,
I always thought she was. Yeah, I agree. I always thought she was older in that film.
Older than she appears.
She didn't come across
not in a bad way. She doesn't look old, but she's got this maturity to her.
It's a proper maturity. She's really intelligent. She's really strong. She doesn't she doesn't falter. You know, she's the hero of the book, basically. Like,
to be fair, she's a really good, strong female character, isn't she?
Yeah,
really?
she's amazing in Jurassic Park. She's like, and that character works so well in a way that she's the last girl, but she isn't written like a victim as much. She's written like someone trying to get shit done.
Yeah,
which I think often female characters in those type of films just aren't written that way, and that's why she was perfect casting for it. Really, I wonder if he must have seen this, and because like really, it's her next big film, isn't it? After Wild at Heart is Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if there's
I think so.
The Rambling Rose she's in, but I don't really remember that film. But yeah, Jurassic Park and then Perfect World.
So what do you think the idea of the scene? You know where they find the turned over car. What's behind that? Do you reckon?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because they keep setting him. They keep talking about him like he's a really bad person, Sailor, but he's actually not. He wants to help this girl.
Yeah.
But is that Cheryl Fenn?
Oh, is it Cheryl Fenn? Yeah.
She's in Twin Peaks as well.
She might be in Blue Velvet as well, actually. But I might.
But well, he casts a lot of the same people. So Laura Dern's in Inland Empire, isn't she? I think.
Yeah.
Which I've seen. I actually, tell a lie, have seen half of that. But seeing half of that is still 2 hours because it's like a 4-hour-long movie. But that was a film that I think he just made like piece by piece and just kind of put this thing together. Like there's a sitcom with like bunny rabbits in, isn't there? Like just randomly thrown in there and stuff like that. It's a very bizarre film.
Very bizarre film.
I bought it for our friend Isaac for his birthday, and it probably ended up like most nights out with Isaac, so we never quite finished the film. But
what was the scene that she kept on saying something when they? Oh, why did she go? That was it, when the woman dies on the side of the road, and Laura Dern keeps going like, "Why is she gonna go and do that? Like, died right in front of us. Like, why is she like it's? Why would you do that to us?" So, what do you think a fried banana sandwich is?
2 pieces of bread with
banana in it.
Banana in it that's fried.
And then fried, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's like, have you never made pancakes out of bananas?
No.
I imagine it tastes a bit like that, I guess, where you just mash up bananas and you fry it like a pancake.
I'm guessing this is a New Orleans thing.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it's an Elvis thing.
Possibly. So yeah, what else? Anything else that comes to mind? I mean, I just love it when they pull over on the side of the road and they're just like dancing to metal. Just anytime the metal comes in.
When he's doing like karate dancing, like fucking
like proper like. He's brilliant.
And there was a bit where he's driving. They keep cutting to him, and there's just music on, and he keeps saluting.
Yeah,
he's just going like that.
Because I think all the driving, they're all one takes. I think, aren't they? They're like long takes, aren't they? I think.
Yeah.
Well, is he saluting? Is he saluting because his name's Sailor? I don't know.
I don't know why he's saluting. Sure, yeah. Let's say that's why. It's definitely David Lynch is definitely a director that lets you just discover what you want to do in a scene as an actor. I think.
Well, I originally thought Sailor was a nickname, and he was a sailor or something. And then no, his first name is Sailor.
I never gave it any thought. I just his name's Sailor.
So have you got any other thoughts on the film? I'm kind of spent really, but
no, I don't think so. I had to say when after the last episode when we discussed what kind of film to do next, and I was thinking, 1990. I love Nick Cage. I really like David Lynch. Let's do that film. And then as I went to put it on, I was like, what have I got myself into? It's David Lynch. I'm not like, how do I explore this? This is really hard.
I mean, I watched it on a Sunday afternoon, and it's not a Sunday afternoon movie. Do you know what I mean? It's not that kind of film, but
I can see why it wasn't a huge hit at the time. But I definitely think it's a really good film.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm happy I've watched it. I mean, I don't know how soon I'll rewatch it, but I'm glad I've seen a Nick Cage film that I haven't seen before, and
yeah.
glad I'm delving more into David Lynch.
Yeah. I'm always good to see some Nick Cage. I mean, that's the crazy thing with Nick Cage. I'm never going to watch every single film he's done. Do you see that in the last 3 years he's done something like... I'll get the actual number, hang on.
Well, didn't he have a lot of a lot of problems with money or something? And
That's what they say.
Bought a lot of property.
That's what they say, but I think he's always been this way.
Again, like, he doesn't really have many massively over-the-top Cage moments. Like, there's the bit at the beginning when he smashed that guy's head in. And then he does a massive rage out in the robbery scene. He just all of a sudden goes, Rah! But other than that, he didn't really go... He wasn't like Bad Lieutenant, which I think is an incredible film.
Similar performance, though. It's that level. He's just hitting it at that like full peak at all points. Like, and he's committed in a way that I don't think... He commits to a role in a way that's just so much fun to watch.
Well, apparently on Bad Lieutenant, he had... Because he's like playing a coke addict police officer. He had this like almost like herbal fake coke that kind of like gave you a bit of like a... those herbal that gave you a fake high or whatever. Yeah. And he kept doing it between every take. And it really fucked off Werner Herzog. So if you can watch this GQ interview and he's talking about the making of that film, they clashed quite a bit on that set.
I love that film.
That's great. I mean, it has no relation to the Harvey Keitel one.
No, it's better
at all. So
it's better.
I agree, but I don't. Why did they call it that? I don't know why they call it Bad Lieutenant. I don't understand.
I don't know.
I mean, I know he is a bad lieutenant, but like,
I think I remember Werner Herzog saying something along that lines, like,
is it just it's the thematical that it's just about a lieutenant who just goes batshit crazy.
That's what I heard. I think I remember Werner saying something like that, like, well, it's a bad lieutenant. I can't do accents. I can't do Werner. But that was good film, man. Good film.
What would you give it out of 5? Let's say you're on Letterboxd. What would you give it out of 5?
Probably 4.
So I'm teetering between a 3.5 or a 4. Probably a 4, but it's not a film I would watch over and over and over again. But I thought the performances were great by everyone. Everyone was on their game.
Yeah, I just had a lot of fun watching it. I liked the soundscape of the film. I liked the music. I liked the kind of energy to it. I was going to start this podcast by singing and then decided not to because I like the song in this film so much. So you've been saved from that. I was going to test you on a little game. Are you interested in that? Because I was talking about the fact that you can look up the VHSs, the trailers that came on a VHS with films.
Okay.
So I wonder if you can guess these.
Okay, go on. Okay, go for it.
So do you know who the studio was who released it? Because that will help you.
No, that might help if you tell me that.
But the studio who made the film was Samuel Goldwyn.
Okay.
And the first film on the VHS, this is the UK VHS release. It's the one I could find. It is by a European director.
Okay.
It's an action film about a spy.
About a spy?
Yeah, kind of assassin spy. It ended up spawning TV shows and maybe a remake as well.
Okay. Not Leon. No, not a Luc Besson film, no.
Yep.
Luc Besson film.
Yep.
Le Femme Nikita, no.
Yes, Nikita, first trailer. The second one is a film that I don't know if you'll remember, but I'm going to test you. It's the VHS cover for this was something that I saw all over the place.
Okay.
Like for me, I remember seeing it everywhere. It's kind of a science fiction horror film that stars do you know Dylan McDermott, who I know him from American Horror Story.
Okay.
But it's also got Iggy Pop in it. And it was directed by a guy called Richard Stanley, who is a music video director who also made Colour Out of Space this year.
Oh, okay.
That's why that's my connection.
Is it so sci-fi action thing?
I'm not sure. That's as much clue as I can possibly give you.
It's not Lawnmower. No, that was later, wasn't it? Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, it is later.
I don't know. Pass.
It's called Hardware.
I have seen the trailer for that. I've never seen it though.
If you look at, I think that poster, the kind of like with the eyes in red, with like kind of a target on him, and then in green it just says Hardware in massive letters.
Yeah,
I saw that everywhere, but I've never seen this film.
Well, there's that film, and there's like, is it Fortress? That was another one that kind of like similar kind of.
Yeah.
And then there was the Clive Barker
What's
film, like Nightbreed. I always saw the trailers and the posters for that.
And this film, I've never heard of this film, and I'm massively be surprised if you fucking get this.
Okay.
It is a comedy film.
Yeah.
Comedy drama film. Stars Burt Ramson or someone. I don't know. It's got Judge Reinhold in it, and Beau Bridges is the lead.
Beau Bridges. Okay. The only films I know with Judge Reinhold in are the Beverly Hills Cop movies, and vice versa. So I'm gonna say it's neither one of those. So I pass.
Well, it's that classic. Daddy's dying. Who's got the will?
Is that the name of the film?
That is the name of the film.
Okay, I've never heard of it in my life.
That was a difficult trader game.
So, what are we talking about on the next episode?
We're going to go into 1991, and I think we're going to cover a classic. I mean, like a bona fide classic, Boys in the Hood.
Well, as always, I've not seen that one, so I'm looking forward to watching that one.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. John Singleton film.
So it's directorial debut, is that right?
Directorial debut. He got nominated for an Oscar for it. Two nominations.
Really?
Cuba Gooding's basically first film.
Was it?
I think it was his first film. It might have been something else, but Ice Cube's first film. Basically Angela Bassett's first role, really, that wasn't.
So it kind of kick-started a lot of careers. But yeah, we'll get into that when we talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get into it next week.
So if you want to watch along, it is on Netflix, I found out. So
yeah, it is on Netflix, yeah.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed today's episode on Wild at Heart. So don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Our handle is @AdjustYourTrack. So that's adjust and then your, like YR and then track. Don't forget to rate, review and subscribe. And if the picture's bad, please adjust your tracking.